I am literally cringing right now because this video is gonna be the biggest shit show we've ever seen on the internet. I seriously cannot even stop laughing because it's gonna be so embarrassing. I feel like I've been teasing this one for a really long time. Probably since I started doing YouTube, I've been like, man, I really want to film this video because it's literally the most embarrassing years of my life. We're doing the how I did my makeup in high school video. It's so funny and it's so embarrassing because the year after my senior year was when I actually started doing makeup for my friends, and I would do like my friends' sisters, or just if people recommended me for like prom or something, I would do their makeup. And I didn't even charge people. Like, they would buy me like Taco Bell or something because I was a huge pothead back then, and I was like, just buy me Taco Bell and like we'll call it a day. I'm so professional, if you didn't notice. People actually liked it and they would compliment me all the time and be like, oh my god,
you're so good.
And I was like,
thanks, I know.
When I look back at it 10 years later, I'm like, what the fuck were you doing? Can you tell the direction that this video is going in? Because I didn't even bother with my hair. Like, I mean, I never bother with my hair, but today I was like, I'm not even gonna try. I was in high school from 2004 to 2008. So when my parents were still married, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. Like, my mom didn't care, but my dad cared. My dad was a fucking psycho. So I would do my makeup at school. Like, I would get to school early, or I would do my makeup on the bus. I would take makeup remover or something, and I would always wipe it off before I got home so he didn't know. Bitch, nobody can separate me and makeup, okay? And he used to catch me all the time. Like, he'd see the black on my waterline or something, and I would always get in trouble. Like, I was always grounded because I wasn't allowed to wear makeup, and I did it anyways. From freshman to senior year, it definitely evolved for the worse, I would say, because it definitely got worse as I got older. I can't believe I'm posting this video. This is so embarrassing. Also try to insert pictures throughout the video. What's sad is that I don't have a ton of pictures because those were the days of MySpace and Photo Bucket, and as you guys know, like, MySpace is no more. A lot of pictures that I have are from like either when I was a senior or like my first year of college, like 18, 19, but my makeup, I still did it the same way, unfortunately, so it's like pretty much the same thing. I just used to use my hands to apply my foundation, and occasionally I would use something like this. I would mostly use this for powder, or I would use the little like Target sponges, the ones that pull apart, like the styrofoam ones, if I had the money to buy them, which it's like crazy to think about it now because they're only like $1 or $2, but I literally had no money back then. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal. I finally picked up my shade. I'm in the shade 425. But back then, I used to use a lot of CoverGirl products, which is weird because I don't really use CoverGirl today. But back then, I used to use CoverGirl. We're not even gonna prime because there wasn't primer back then. Also, I didn't used to take care of my skin when I was in high school. Obviously, it's gotten worse as I've gotten older. I was that kid that I just had perfect skin no matter what I did, and I would wake up in the morning, I wouldn't wash my face. I didn't wash my face at night either. I think I just used to take a little makeup remover and cotton balls and wipe off my makeup, and I would take a tissue or something and wipe off my face because I don't think they had face wipes back then. I used to do that like if I was going to my dad's house after school, or if I took a shower and I washed my hair. That's the only time that I used to wash my face. I didn't start doing skincare until I was probably like in college, because I was like 19, I think, when I first started getting into skincare, because I remember my mom took me to the Clinique counter. I just never broke out. Now if I go to sleep with my makeup on, like if I'm so tired and I'm like, oh my god, I can't wash my face, and I'll take a wipe and I don't do like all my steps, I'll have a breakout the next day. Like, that wasn't me in high school. I never ever broke out, and I used to party a lot when I got into college. Like, I was a big party girl. I'd wear like all this caked on makeup, and I would just go back to wherever I was sleeping that night and pass out, and never used to wash my face. And I would wake up, my makeup would be on the next day, and never broke out once. My bus used to pick me up super early at like 6:30, something like that. It was really early in the morning. And I used to roll out of bed. I would have my little makeup baggie and I would sit in the sink in the bathroom. All my friends make fun of me, like, that I grew up with to this day, because I always had to sit in the sink right in front of the mirror, and I would do my makeup in like 15 minutes because it was so fast, but I used to cake that shit on. When I get later on into this, you're gonna be like, you don't make any sense. But this is before like anybody understood undertones, and they literally had like 3 foundation shades for everybody back then. So I used to use the lightest shade because I was really fair, but I had a warm undertone. So everything always pulled pink on me, so my face never matched my chest. My face always looked pink, and I never understood why, because I never understood undertones. Keep in mind, I used to do makeup for people, okay? But anyways, I used to use the lightest shade because I always thought it was too dark, but I just didn't understand that it was just too pink. So then I used to go in with the lightest concealer. I know, this isn't gonna make sense. So I used to use the Rimmel stick concealer, but I don't have that anymore. So I'm gonna use this from Makeup Revolution because this is the lightest concealer that I have right now. And I literally used to go like this. I didn't even tap. I was gonna tap because that's what I would do today. I didn't even do that back then. I used to do this. I used to rub it as if like, you know, why not just rub away all the work you just did? Next, I used to go in with a powder foundation, and it was one of the compacts. I'm pretty sure it was the old school CoverGirl one, and I don't have those anymore. It was like a foundation, so it was like foundation and then powder foundation and concealer caked on top of that, which I would never do that today. I don't have any powder foundations because I like translucent powder, so I'm just gonna take this one from e.l.f. And I used to take the little puff that it came with, and oh my god, you guys, you're gonna shit your fucking pants. You guys, I literally used to go like this, and I would just cake it on. It was like the thicker, the better. The cakier, the better. Like, the more makeup-y my face looked, the better. This is like probably my biggest regret in life because I literally used to take bronzer. I would take a bronzer like this. I remember what it was. It was a little, I want to say it was, I'm almost 100% sure it was Maybelline. It was like a little rectangle like this, and it was kind of like the old school CoverGirl blushes. It was like just half the pan like this, and it had that little shitty brush on the other end, and it was just like a little tiny rectangle of bronzer. I used to take this with a brush. I'm actually pretty sure I used to use Eco Tools back then too. I used to just coat the brush, and I would put it over my whole fucking face. We didn't do contouring. We didn't do bronzing. I literally used to take my fucking bronzer. Oh my god, I'm doing this now and I'm like, bitch, are you serious? And when I say the more bronzer the better, I literally mean the more bronzer the better. I used to just, like, my face had to be a shade darker than my chest. I used to take my bronzer and I would literally apply it like a powder, and I would just coat it and coat it and coat it and coat it until it was to my liking. But I just remember I used to go through bronzer so fast because I just used to pile it on. And I never did my chest, I only did my face. So I was just an orange face and a white chest. Before I left the house in the morning, I was like, yeah, this looks really good. Huh? There wasn't highlight, contour, anything like that, but I did used to use blush, and again, I used to use a CoverGirl blush. It was a shade very, very similar to this. I remember it was from CoverGirl, and I've always been into these tones, these like mauve roses. They've always been my thing. If you guys think I went light-handed on the blush, you are sorely mistaken. And I actually used to use a brush just like this too. It was from Revlon. Actually, it was a really good brush. I don't know whatever happened to it, but if I still had it, I'd probably still use it to this day. Everybody was like, oh, you want to smile and put on blush. I used to smile like the biggest smile, and I would put on so much blush because that was just so fucking cute back then. I promise you on my entire heart and soul that I'm not even over exaggerating. This is literally how I used to do my makeup. I look like a fucking Oompa Loompa. This was all I did for my complexion. Of course, I didn't do my brows because why would I do my brows? Wait until we get to the eyes, okay? Because you guys, when I tell you that my fucking eye makeup was poppin', it wasn't poppin'. It looked like shit. Let me tell you what inspired my eyeshadow, which is really like when I think of my mentality, I'm like, what was young me thinking that I would look back on this day and be like, yeah, that's so fucking cute. You should just do your makeup like that all the time. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I know I've mentioned that before, and I lived there my whole entire life, and my mom got a new job when I turned 17. I'm pretty sure it was my junior year. We moved to Pittsburgh, and I hated Pittsburgh when we first moved there. Like, I was about to graduate high school with all my friends that I grew up with my entire life, and then my parents just plucked me from there and were like, oh, we're gonna move to another state right before you graduate. And I was very, like, I went down a dark path. I was very depressed. I was very unhappy, and I was just like sad. I can't, like, I'm looking at myself right now in the viewfinder and I literally look like shit. Like, I can you guys take me seriously right now when I tell you the story? Because it's kind of a sad story, but I feel so stupid that I feel like you're just looking at me and you're like, yeah, I can't stop laughing at you. I was like obsessed with Cleveland. Like, I was like, Cleveland everything, Cleveland or die. And people used to make fun of the way that I talked because I have that like typical northern accent. And if you guys are from Pittsburgh, you know the accent I'm talking about. They have like a deep, like, the way they enunciate certain things. You guys are gonna have to look up, I think Joe Magalino, I don't know how you say his name, Sofia Vergara's husband. He did an interview with, it was on some late night show, Jimmy Kimmel, I don't know, I can't remember, but he did an impersonation of the Pittsburgh accent to the T.
Yeah, I'm going downtown here. I got my eye rock off of blocks, you know. I live up in Washington County. We're gonna get down and check out the Stiller game.
They just have such a distinctive accent, which is crazy because Ohio and Pennsylvania are right next to each other, and Pittsburgh and Cleveland are like, is like a 2-hour drive from each other. Like, they're so close to each other, but the accent was so distinct. I went into this school and I'm this new kid. I'm still can't take myself seriously as I'm telling you guys the story because I keep looking at myself and I'm like, you look fucking crazy. I came like right before graduation, and then I had an accent. Well, I had an accent to them. So kids would make fun of me. Like, they were like, why do you talk like that? Where are you from? I was like, I'm from Ohio. I'm from fucking next door. Like, it's not even that far. I was like, fuck these kids. Fuck Pittsburgh. Fuck this. Cleveland for life, baby.
Cleveland! This is for you!
When I think about it, it sounds so crazy because only a teenager would do this. So my high school colors in Cleveland were purple and gold, and I used to wear purple and gold eyeshadow. I'm literally cringing as I'm telling you this. What's funny is that L'Oreal used to have this line. I want to say it was called the Hip line. It's like real old school, but they had these little quads. They were little circles and they were like real vivid colors, and there was a purple and a gold one. I saw it and I was like, oh my god, let me represent Cleveland all day, every day. And so I bought it, and this is how I used to do my eyeshadow. Sometimes I would just wear the gold, sometimes I would just wear the purple, but I used to mainly wear the purple and gold together. I'm really gonna try to look for pictures. Obviously I don't have that quad anymore, and I'm pretty sure L'Oreal discontinued that line years ago, so I'm just gonna take this gold. It was like a yellow gold like this. I used to take one of these. I did find one of these for the occasion. You guys remember these, right? I wanted to zoom you guys in a little more because I wanted you guys to get the full effect. So I used to take this little thing and I would just literally, I would like round out my eye like this with the sponge. God, I am a fucking literal disgrace. I would go halfway and then I would flip this little thing over, and I'm gonna take a purple from the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. I think this one, Ballsy, was the most similar to the purple in the palette. I would just connect it, and that was just good enough for me. You know, we weren't trying to blend. We were literally just trying to look like shit. That was the goal, was to just have the most unblended eyeshadow ever. I promise you it gets better. So I actually used to use the Revlon retractable eyeliner, which I don't use anymore because I actually don't really even wear black eyeliner anymore. Back then, the darker and the thicker and the blacker the eyeliner, the better. Baby, raccoon eyes all the way. It always had to be just a line. Again, we didn't blend, you know, we were just like, the harsher the better. Sometimes I would make it too thin and I would have to go back in and fix it because I was like, no, it's not thick enough. Of course we had to tightline because, you know, God forbid. If you think it ends here, people, it doesn't. It only gets worse. We also did it on the bottom, so we really looked like we had the worst blended eyeshadow and no eyes, because our eyes looked so fucking small because we used a whole damn stick of eyeliner when we did our makeup in the morning. Of course we couldn't skip the waterline. That would just be way too natural. God, like, why did my mom let me leave the house like this? I don't understand. This is where we would start the mascara process. It used to take me so long to do my mascara because I would do coat after coat after coat after coat. So today I'm using Better Than Sex. Back then I used to use L'Oreal Voluminous. I do remember that because I've been using that since high school. I had to have the clumpiest, thickest eyelashes that were ever even humanly possible. Honestly, if I even got mascara on my lower lash line or on my lid, it didn't even matter because the black eyeliner covered it. You didn't even have to clean up your mistake. I usually do like 3 layers of mascara. For the sake of this video, I'm not gonna bore you, but I would take a break and let it dry completely, and I would finish off my lips. And for lips, I would use a really pale pink nude, just like this, which actually that was probably the only like nice thing about my makeup routine because I think these colors are still really pretty. Not with the rest of this face, of course. I always used to use one from NYX, which I cannot remember. I'm pretty sure they discontinued it. It was called Sugar or something, Sugar and Spice, something like that. But it was like a pale nude like this, but it had a little bit of shimmer to it. This doesn't have any shimmer, but I was obsessed with colors like this, which, you know, some things never change. I just probably wouldn't wear it this opaque anymore. I would sheer it out a little bit. Now that I have my lips on, I would go in and do more mascara. If I was going to my dad's house after school or like before my parents were divorced and they still lived together, this is why I would always get caught because it was physically impossible to get all the black eye makeup off of my eyes. What I remember doing, now I don't think I did this through all of high school, but I do remember doing it during my senior year. I used to touch up my makeup in every single class. Whenever I would sit down, the first thing I would do was pull out a mirror and pull out my makeup. I used to take my makeup bag with me. I would touch up my eyeshadow, my blush, my gloss, my mascara, my eyeliner, and if my liner would start to wear away and I could see even just one little spot of like lash line showing through, I was like, oh no, 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 that needs to be covered. And I would take my eyeliner, I would check my makeup in every class and I would just make sure everything was still looking good. I swear to God on my life, this is not a sick joke. This is literally how I used to do my makeup. I promise you. If any of my friends, anybody that I went to high school with, anybody that knew me from like 16, 17 to like 19, you know this is how I did my makeup. Don't even front. And you didn't say anything. You let me walk around looking like this. On top of that, I had a little butterfly purse that I got from Target. It was like the first time I used my employee discount because I worked there for a few months when I was a junior in high school. Such a fucking 2000s purse, like if I ever saw one. And it had these big butterflies on it. And it was white and it had the little leather strap, and I used to walk around with my makeup like this, carrying my little butterfly purse and my books, and I was just walking around like I was just the hottest piece of ass that ever went to that damn school. I'm like hot right now because I'm thinking about how I used to do my makeup back then and it's making me so uncomfortable and I feel like shit. Dare somebody to argue with me and tell me that this is not the worst they've ever seen. I just wanted to do a fun video today and I thought, what is more fun than making fun of the hot mess that I used to be? So thankfully we evolved. Now the makeup is not clown makeup, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't look at myself anymore. I gotta take this off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what else you want to see in the comments below. If you guys did real crazy makeup back in the day, please let me know so we can laugh. Please. We can't just be laughing at me. We need to laugh at other people too. Make sure you guys subscribe before you go and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my other videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!